Welcome to the Green Tea, Freedom and Truth channel. This is Tristan. It's good to have the Green Tea team back for this Wednesday, the 18th of November 2020 edition of the video log. A big thank you and much appreciation for everyone who has liked, shared, commented and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate the Green Tea team. I appreciate your quality. We have a quality community of free-thinking individuals. So today we are going to be talking about disarming the climate and V-word alarmists, disarming the climate and V-word alarmists, and good news for the planet. There is good news for the planet. I've been doing research. I'll just start by caveating this video by saying I am not a climate change expert. Please do your own research. I will leave links to all of the information I have gathered below in the description box, so please do your own research and gather your own information. I am just sharing and wanting to hopefully just let people see another side of the picture, because we are seeing this alarmist fear and control being pushed for the V-word 19, the plan-demic. And we see any scientists or epidemiologists or doctors that speak up against the fear-based narrative and speak up and say, hey, the infection fatality rate of this virus is the same as a seasonal flu. There is many epidemiologists and doctors that confirm this by the factual evidence. That gets hidden. That does not get spoken about. That is buried. And we see that with the climate. Any scientists that go against the narrative of the planet is drowning, the planet is burning, you do not hear from them. The narrative is pushed. And then we see these, they are using weaponized youth, brainwashed youth. Greta Thunberg spoke at the UN Climate Action Summit 2019, and preceding that, youth all around the world had strikes from school.
People are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction. And
that is difficult to watch. A young girl, teenager, that emotional, that unstable, and lies are being fed, lies are being peddled to our children. And there is good news, and I'm going to share some of that good news right now, some of the positive things that are happening with the planet. And I watched a very good video from last year of a Liberal MP in Australia, Craig Kelly, getting interviewed by Sky News Australia, and there we're going to just have a quick look at some of the things, the positive things that are happening right now with our planet.
There's never been a time where you're least likely to be killed by a climate-related catastrophe.
And it's,
how
remember,
about this?
Just on that, it's 99% less than what it was for our grandparents and our great-grandparents.
Wow, 99% less. That is some positive news. But what about all the storms, the typhoons, the cyclones, all of these things ravaging the planet?
From the Bureau of Meteorology, from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the number of cyclones around the world and in Australia have fallen.
Look, the number in Australia has fallen significantly, and if you look at the data from around the world, we are at an anonymously low period of cyclone and hurricane activity.
You just do not hear about these facts and statistics, these peer-reviewed facts and statistics. You hear about these atoll islands drowning.
So those atoll islands, places like Vanuatu and Tuvalu, are not drowning under rising seas. Most are in fact increasing in size. Tuvalu by nearly 3%. True or false?
Exactly true. And this is not just something that's made up. This is what the peer-reviewed science says. And not just one published paper. There's at least half a dozen published papers that confirm that fact. And yet we had the UN Secretary-General, the Portuguese socialist Guterres, out there parading around doing these photographs with, water up to his waist, telling complete and utter lies about these Pacific islands drowning.
Starting to rain here, and forest fires. The world is burning. Let's have a listen to some factual evidence about what is happening in Australia.
The climate alarmists, they love the fire and brimstone stuff, that the world's on fire. The peer-reviewed science is clear on this. It says wildfires are down 25% over the last 2 decades. And that applies in Australia as well. The global area being burnt is declining, and declining substantially. There are not more wildfires, there are less.
Let's continue with the great news.
Polar bear numbers have increased, not fallen, increased. This is uncontroversial science. The world is actually getting greener, not more blasted and desertified. It's getting greener. 5% of the green area has increased over the last 2 decades.
And we have seen over the last 40 to 50 years absolutely remarkable increases in crop yields. Whether you pick rice, or you pick wheat, or you pick barley, or you pick cocoa, no matter what you pick, there's been these remarkable increases. And again, you listen to these alarmists and all the crop yields are shrivelling up and everyone's starving.
And as we can see, there is so much evidence that counters the fear-based narrative. And we need to do the research. We need to be awakened. It's the same for the V word, and it's the same for the climate. And this clip, I was speaking to some Japanese people and they were talking about typhoons and the heat and all of these sort of things. So I did some research and I found this really good website about the climate non-problem in Japan. And here is a few facts and statistics from that. I'll leave a link below for the website. The climate non-problem. Major aspects of Japan's climate has seen no change in 100 years. Completely flat annual precipitation trend for Japan over past 100 years. That's the rainfall. Landfalling typhoons 1951 to 2018, very similar to the 1950s, with the exception of 2005 that had more. Sea levels were almost as high 70 years ago, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency. This is where all of this data is from. Overall temperature has increased almost 1 degree Celsius over the past 100 years. Here we observe that there has not been any change over the past 2 decades, 20 years. The chart above has some notable features. Annual temperatures from 1951 to the mid-1980s were flat, even cooling a bit. Why weren't greenhouse gases driving temperatures up? In the 1980s, in just a couple of years, the temperature literally jumped to a whole new plateau, but it has not climbed much ever since. What's going on here? Does CO2 take 30 years off work? 30 years off? Work for a couple of years and then disappear? The correlation between CO2 and Japan mean annual temperature is very poor. Some really interesting statistical facts and data there. The temperature has gone up 1 degree in the last century. The correlation between CO2 and that 1 degree rise is hard to prove. And we need to be working to protect the environment, to keep, the air quality good, the water quality, the soil and land quality of a high standard. We need to, I'm an outdoors guy. I like to be outdoors and I value nature and the outdoor environment. And we need to be aware of that. I think it's going to be like it's a process. It's a process of getting more efficient, working smarter, without fear and control, without taking away rights and freedoms, without levels of restrictions being imposed by authoritarian global communism. But I think there's many more things that are improving and are good, and the fear-based narrative that is getting pushed is unbalanced and lacks context. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Have courage, speak your truth, support each other, have faith and have fun. Peace out.